Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's Roll20 presents Tomb of Annihilation. This is the last. I was gonna say hour, but like we're doing wonky on the breaks, so we'll see how much time we get. But
It's the last however much time there
that's
is.
right. It's the very last part of the episode. So the Terrafolk have been unfolked. They're toast. You've slewn the colony, and they are lying dead at your feet. Your defeated foes.
This is like a keep on the Borderlands kobold cave situation, isn't it? This feels very similar.
I have some opinions about morality in Dungeons and Dragons, but I'm not gonna talk about that right now. So, Dragonbait, seeing the last of them is dead, flicks the blood off his sword, spins around, and slides it back into its sheath. And then, goes back to I was gonna say talk to, but attend to Artis. So he goes around the corner. What is everybody else doing?
I am checking out the rest of this cave, making sure there's no sneaky buttons or tricky walls or.
It's just a stinky old cave that smells like dead ass dinosaurs.
Perfect, right at home.
So, in the back corner over here is like one of their little like nests, so it's just full of like vegetation and there's like little like shed scales kind of laying about, and the whole place just stinks. Little Fox, you wander over that way and you find over where you are a bunch of like rubble. You can see like a wagon wheel in there and some other like broken stuff. But there may be some good shit in there if you want to dig around. It'll take you a little while, but that if there's loot to be found, that's where it is.
Rage loot.
You're not
All right,
raging.
well, my rage is over.
Your rage is
But
silent.
if Malik wants to come in here and shed some light on this,
oh yeah, of course,
with a lantern, that would be helpful.
I'm just gonna scramble back over these.
Well, so hold on. Before you get that far, you come around the corner and you hear Artis, like saying to Dragonbait, just as you come around the corner, he stops. He's like, "No, I'm fine, buddy. Everything's fine. It's okay." And then you come around the corner and they both turn to look at you like you just interrupted their conversation. And Artis looks at you and he says, "Everybody okay?"
Yeah, I was just gonna check the other side where there's two ways and there's like a little cave.
He gestures expansively, like, "Please, squirm your way past these monsters."
Just like climb over these corners. Scramble,
Yep.
like.
Okay. Now you don't need to like wander around. That whole end of the cave kind of is a smaller replica of the one you were in before. So like the area is split into maybe two like families of Terrafolk or something.
Oh, okay.
This one has a little fire pit, but no like loot area, but a bunch more like straw, kind of like that it's hidden on. But it seems like their main like dump is all this crap over here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting by the fire, wrapping I probably took off like my shoulder bit from where I was hit with a javelin, and I'm just like tending to my wounds, trying not to look at all the gross, gory, disgusting, dead Terrafolk.
Okay. So Malik and Little Fox,
Yep.
the two of you are in this little like room. You wanna dig through that stuff?
Yeah, we're gonna teamwork it.
loot.
Okay. So you find mostly garbage, bits and pieces of like blood-stained, like there's some horse bones in here, like a horse skull with some of the like skin still on it. There's bits and pieces of a wagon. You do find a treasure chest, a very heavy locked treasure chest with deep gouges in it.
Like they tried to open it and couldn't.
Yeah, like gouged and bashed. You find a punctured like breastplate with like a rib cage still kind of in it.
We definitely got to keep that.
And there's the back is missing. It's just the front part, and it's kind of crumpled in. But there's a bandolier on it, and there's a potion miraculously unbroken in the bandolier.
All right. So
Actually, sorry, two. There's two of them.
Miracle potion.
So you recognize these right away. You don't have to identify them. They're the same as they're fairly common. They're potions of healing. There's two of them.
All right, I have 2 healing potions.
Yeah.
Split that in a bit, but I guess you take most of it because you're
So
taker.
at first you maybe you overlook it. Maybe Malik, you notice it, but you see Little Fox like grab a piece of wood and just throw it aside. And when you take a closer look at it, you realize that it's a paddle, like a wooden like paddle from like a canoe or something. And then wrapped around the handle is like leather, like you would attach to like a sword. And you take a close look at it, and you flip it over, and on the other side, etched with like fire, like wood burnt into the other side of the paddle, are the words "ready or not," but "or" is spelled OAR, and they're all in caps, written down one side.
Oh my god! You need to use this as a weapon. Okay, little folks, like somebody's.
Yeah, and she like looks at it and doesn't really get the joke.
Right.
So she just like looks at you and then looks at it and then looks back up at you, just like shrugs. And then goes back to like
Ishi will like it.
And you, Malik, when you pick it up, I mean, it's just like really heavy. It's a big, heavy, like wooden, like paddle, basically.
Yeah, no, I just want to show the others because it's fun.
I'll show it to Ishi.
Ishi's gonna appreciate this too.
It's totally gonna be like a magic weapon or some shit that Little Fox is gonna use.
So you, what do? You want to come back with the box?
Yeah,
Does everybody meet up around the fire?
Well,
this sounds fun.
Yeah, there's one last thing that Little Fox wants to do.
Okay, so Little Fox, you go back into the like nest area, and yeah,
So
there's like a dozen.
I leave the
like,
chest out by the fire, and I go into the little nest.
There's a dozen of these like leathery eggs.
And so she like now very carefully and gingerly like listens at them and feels them, and is like checking out. I'm gonna check out these eggs and see if I can tell how close they are to hatching and like what their deal is.
Okay, yeah, make a nature check. I don't think you can't really tell. Terrafolk are not your specialty.
No, certainly not.
Yeah. They're definitely Terrafolk eggs though.
That would stand to reason.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna sit here and think about what I want to do with this. If everyone else wants to talk for a minute.
Sure. So everybody else gathers around the fire. Artist and Dragonbait come back from the hallway. Did you want to show Ishi your find?
Yeah. You say, well, we got two things. One is this treasure chest that they.
Oh, you found stuff. Good.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone. Ishi, can you pick locks? Has this ever come up before?
I don't have the tools to do it, but I'm fairly good at small things, and
Didn't you use your finger or something?
Probably.
Artist, is this a skill you've picked up on your travels?
Artist looks at the treasure chest, looks at you, and checks his character sheet real quick, but he doesn't think so.
If he can pick locks, why would he be in the fucking jail cell?
He, yeah. I mean, does Ishi say that?
Yeah, you know what? I think I do.
Yeah.
If Artist could pick locks, why would he have been in that jail cell?
Yeah, so he points at you and does one of these. Ishi like.
I could give it a try.
I mean, the dude can teleport, and he was still in the jail cell, so
All right.
I'm just like staring at the fire.
If you think you're going to break it, then don't. It will make it more difficult.
I have no idea if there's anything I can roll for this, even.
For what?
Like you don't have the tools.
Oh, you can't pick locks without lockpicks. No.
Without the lockpicks, no.
Like
you could smash it open, but then the box would be broken.
Yeah, I'm sure little folks can hold on to that until we get back to town. Find somebody who can help us out with that. And also, I found this. And I drag it because I'm actually incredibly weak behind me and just like turn it over. I go,
Yeah. So at a glance, without touching or anything, Ishi, it's an enormous wooden, like you'd use it to paddle a boat.
So you found a paddle.
It says "ready or not" on one side, and weirdly, it has like sword hilt, like leather wrapped around the handle end of it.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it seemed really odd.
It's a weird thing to be here, for sure. If we think about where the nearest water is, it's probably in that basin, like way that way. So.
Oh, when Dragonbait and Argus come back in here, Dragonbait was really hurt, right?
He's pretty beat up.
I guess like after I'm done paying attention to my own wounds, could I like turn around and look at him and be like, do you need something for your, and I like motion to wherever he's like bleeding the most.
Just shakes his head.
Okay.
Well, I can see that there were clearly some differing opinions that happened. I don't know if this is the place that you want to have that conversation, but if we're going to be traveling together, and he like stops. I know you can't tell me exactly what you're thinking, but
what's the smell going on right now?
You sniff the air, and I think you smell roses.
What does roses mean?
You haven't smelled that before. That's a new one. You definitely haven't been exposed to that emotion. So
It means I'm experiencing a philosophical or moral quandary.
I mean, okay, but
In the background of this, by the way, Little Fox is pushing the
for a
corpse out of the
second,
way over here.
so
Just clearing that out of the way.
my skill is after one day, I learn enough to communicate on a rudimentary level.
that's what I'm saying. Rudimentary. This is more complex than you've been exposed to. You don't
Okay.
have you don't have access to this. Plus, it's not language exactly. So I think we got to
makes
be a little
sense.
loose with it. All you're doing is smelling his feelings, not what he's trying to say.
Yeah.
All right, and then Little Fox pushes the nest, the whole nest with all the eggs in it. She just like slides that along the ground out of this little cape.
It doesn't really work that way, but you can pick up the eggs.
Or well, she'll kind of like shuffle everything out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I don't want to be patronizing, but is there, I mean, if there's something that you want to say, then
are those
Artist just looks at you like what? I don't understand.
are those the creatures young?
Yeah, and Little Fox just like puts the eggs near-ish to the fire, not so close that they would cook, but close to keep them warm, because she hasn't decided what to do with them yet.
Ooh.
And so there's like a little like quarter circle of eggs lined up that Little Fox is occasionally rotating so they heat evenly.
What is this? What are you doing now? Are you adopting these? Are you like their mom now? Are we gonna keep them? I don't know if I'm cut out for parenthood.
Yeah, and Little Fox just like waves a hand and then like, it goes back to her mouth like she's thinking.
I hate
like
to
chewing on her
disagree.
thumb or
I hate to
something.
agree with Ishi on this, but we do not have the capability, as it were, to care for young creatures, and the closest Aarakocra settlement is very, very far away. And those are the only people I could think of who would be able to care for flying creatures like these and teach them not to attack entire villages like we just.
I'll leave it up to you. Whatever you think is best.
Okay, well, unimportant right now. The thing we have to focus on is we gotta climb the wall again. I was hoping when we got down here that there'd be some other way to get back up the cliff, but now we're in a cliff on the side of, you know what I mean? A cave on the side of a cliff. There's no other way back up.
Artist says, I can't pull the disappearing trick more than once a day, so
We could do with a rest, actually, before we head back up. I'm totally tapped out.
an artist looks around, he's like, in here? And he looks at the corpses with them.
Better them here dead than them here alive. Be even worse rest then.
If you'd like to go back to the top, I'll soldier on.
We could get back to the
I'm not good at climbing at the best of times.
plateau.
If there was any opportunity that you could help out with the teleportation, then I would certainly appreciate it.
And he shakes his head and he says, nope, not how it works. Sorry.
I
Fair enough.
was quite injured in the fighting and could also use some time to recover. It doesn't have to be all night, just an hour. So before we head out.
We can take a break. For sure.
Up to you. Do we want to take a short rest now? Have a longer one when we make it back up to the top?
Sounds like a good plan. And, we did the thing we were supposed to do. I mean, that she wanted us to do.
It was more the right thing, I think. And Arcturus is very much like trying to justify in his head, like, okay, so these creatures killed an entire village, and we just did the same thing.
You're thinking about this way too much.
I agree.
We did the thing. The thing is done. Can't undo the thing. So now we move on having done the thing.
And Artis says to you, Arcturus, I don't know how your god handles it, but most of the gods up here, you do whatever you want. You just pray real hard for them to forgive you. Throw some coins in a fountain or whatever. You're fine.
Yeah, Joaquin.
And this is like a great distraction for Arcturus because he loves talking about like all this bullshit. So he's like, well, actually, Istishia doesn't really give much of a damn about what you do. He is more of a what's it called? Spectator. Yes. We make our own morality.
So he puts his hands on it and he says, well, there you go. See, if your god doesn't care, why should you? And he looks around and he says, besides, it's not like this is a cave full of adorable little gnomes or whatever. These things are monsters. Look at them.
Don't even say anything about gnomes. Gnomes are the worst.
And Artis looks at you and he says, then again, never met a talking kobold before.
We all talk.
He shrugs.
Not all of us speak common, but we all talk. You ever hear a kobold make some noise and then disappear into a passageway? That's the kobold saying, there's a big scary human. Set all the traps.
So he nudges Dragonbait and he's like, see, kobold can talk. What's your problem? And Dragonbait just kind of like flares his nostrils at him.
Yeah, and Arcturus says something about like, well, people probably don't judge you by how you look, but I've gotten plenty of it, and like turns back to the fire.
All right, so I imagine this is then
Short rest.
Yeah, resting.
Prep to do.
You want to take a short rest? Okay.
Says something in primordial.
I get absolutely nothing from a short rest, but like I'm sure the rest of you do. So
I need some hit points.
Yeah, roll whatever hit dice you like. Is anybody wanting to do anything with the ore?
I want to see if I can attune to it. I want to hold.
Do you have to be able to wield the thing to like?
I don't have ores as a weapon, but
you don't attune to it. You use a short rest to examine it and figure out what it is.
Yeah, to figure out if it's a magical item or not.
Yes.
If it's a magical item, I want to take it with us.
It is a magic item. Yes. It is a +1 great club.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah.
It's a +1. It's a +1 great club. And I think
what does it say on it?
it says ready or not, but OAR instead of OR.
Oh my god.
Boat.
It's a +1 great club, and it also increases the movement speed of any like canoe or kayak that you by 1.5 times.
Holy crap! That's awesome.
So yeah, like as everybody's getting. Sorry, do we finish the?
Yeah, I think that the short rest concludes.
Mm-hmm.
So, I've got it on my lap. It's heavy, and I look at Little Fox and I say, "Now, I know this is going to sound fairly ridiculous, but I think you could probably use this. It's actually quite magical."
And she like narrows her eyes and says, I know that it's a joke. It's just not a funny joke.
No.
Like she still doesn't get. She's like, you're like, yeah, but this is it's really great.
No. Use your nose, huh?
Yeah, and she like squints at you and then like sniffs it and kind of like mulls the smell around a little and then just like takes it.
Okay.
stuffs it in her belt.
All right, let me. I'll add it to your character sheet for you.
Thanks. Yeah. I mean, looking at a Great Club's stats, it's not like I'm gonna actually use it as a weapon, but it's great for the canoeing aspect.
Great Club's a D12 as opposed
No.
to a GD.
No, it's the 1d8.
It's D8.
So
Oh.
I'm better off with the 2d6 maul.
Yeah, it's two-handed. Yeah, 2d8. But it's magical.
yeah.
So
It was magical, so it can be useful.
1d8 plus 4.
So if you ever decide you want to use a shield, then maybe
Well, it's a two-handed weapon that does
200
1d8
weapon D8.
because
Okay.
it's a simple melee weapon. Whereas I could use a warhammer that I have for 1d8 one-handed when the time comes. So, anyways, yeah, it's fine.
That's wrong. Maybe someone.
It's good for paddling a canoe with.
Good news.
All right. So an additional 50% movement speed in a boat. The only thing to be aware of is if you get another magic weapon and you attune yourself to it, you can't use the plus 50% like
Move
speed bonus.
part. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you
you
know,
lose all those effects.
someone else can row the boat with it.
Yeah. So, cool. Okay. So there you go. You have a magic oar.
This game's
Cool.
really weird with this magic item.
Yeah, the magic items in this.
I mean,
Awesome.
to be fair, I'll take credit for the weirdness of this item. I rolled on the treasure table just a +1 Grey Club, and I was like, that's boring. Let's make it more interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So this does have a little Adam Coble flair
Of course,
to it.
of course it does. This is a random. This whole encounter, like this map and everything, this is all stuff I prepared. This doesn't come with the adventure, but
Wait. The Terrafolk didn't attack the village like she said?
No, I mean this map. The Terrafolk, the game is like they're Terrafolk. You got to go fight, but it doesn't give me any background stuff. I did all that myself.
Maybe Poo-Poo's lying to me?
Let me see.
All right.
Magic bonus, attack, yada yada yada. I'm just making sure everything is on here properly. Damage, strength +1. There it is. Boop. There you go. Okay. Cool.
So, can we roll to climb back up and expedite getting back to let her know that we are done?
Artis says so. You everybody takes your short rest or whatever, and it's dark now. When you come back to the edge of the cave, and Artis looks out and he says, "Well, we're gonna have to wait until dawn. So if you want to climb up now, in the rain and the dark, cool."
Yeah, not feeling like dark is a good plan.
I lost track of time. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So he says, "Looks like
Okay,
we're gonna."
well, just wait.
Looks like we're gonna stay down here overnight.
Mm.
I'm getting used to the smell.
Yeah, you just kind of tune it out after a while. Besides, we got dragon bait, and he smells like all kinds of different stuff, so it's like doesn't really matter.
Right.
All right. So you want to just roll that short rest into a long rest?
Yeah,
I guess.
might as
Okay.
well. It's nighttime.
Let's keep watches as well, just in case there are some out hunting.
Sure, I'll take first.
Okay. All right. Let me do a thing here.
So I'm trying to make a decision about these eggs. And I'm trying to do it based on Little Fox's personality traits and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's tricky.
I mean, the thing is that
something to
can we even
consider.
carry them anywhere, right?
But it's something to consider, Andrew. Were I you in this situation, would be these are the eggs of the things that have tried to kill us on many occasions and continually have been a problem for us. Rather than like innocent, non-sentient creatures, these are like semi-sentient or sentient, even like
Yeah.
aggressive, nasty things.
Yeah. You want me to tell you a little bit of like cultural context for them based on what you would know as a person who's lived in Chult?
That would be great.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that'd
the
be good.
Terrafolk are native to Chult. They live in this region. They're referred to as Terrorfolk because they have a habit of swooping down to snatch whatever and whomever they can, bringing them back to their roosts. Like you saw, they stole like a wagon, The thing here says they give birth to live young, but I think that's dumb. I like them having eggs, so I changed that. But they're an ancient and like elder evil species. They've been around forever, as long as there's been a Chult. There are lots of stories about how, like, they were cursed ages ago by Ubtao for, like, they used to be friends with humans, and Ubtao cursed them for some terrible crime. Everybody hates and fears them. So if you're looking for like a cultural background, no civilized person in Chult would look askance at you like murdering these terrible creatures. This is what they look like. They're ugly.
Mm-hmm.
They're ugly as hell. And yeah, they're mean. They're mean and nasty. And it's up to you as players to decide whether you think they could be redeemed or not. But they're bad news. The cultures you come from recognize that there are just certain, like, everybody has a culture that like a monster like this, right? Like for you, Arcturus, the analog would be like the Sahagin, the like shark men. They're like horrible monsters. Yes, they can speak Aquan, but they will like kill and eat your babies if they have a chance. However, Ishi, you are that to some people.
Well, yeah, and it's like I don't have context for that, so someone would need to like there's Arcturus would just be like, I can't like.
Yeah, like Ishi, you probably would feel the same way about like some like stupider than kobolds like monster, right? Like somebody said for Ishi it would be dwarves, but it wouldn't. Dwarves don't kill and eat kobold babies.
It would be like carrion worms or like something that infests tunnels that's bad, you know.
But like you can reason with them, you can talk to them, but they are nasty and evil and backstabbers.
Yeah.
That being said, like in another universe, had you started this with like a conversation, you could have talked to them, but the chances of you convincing them to leave their nest forever, like they would just go somewhere else and harass someone else.
Yeah. That being said, like Arcturus already said in conversation, the only thing that he could think of doing would be trying to bring them to the Aarakocra and seeing if they could be like raised into being good. But I don't think that he would be like just smash them. So yeah, that's a thing for Arcturus too.
All right. Well, the eggs are just gone in the morning after Little Fox's watch.
Okay.
They're just gone.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah. Problem solved.
She drops them out the mouth of the cave in the night.
Which makes sense for like Little Fox culture.
So Malik, I think there's a moment where your watch is ending and Artis's is like starting, or maybe like he's the first one awake if you have the like last watch or something, where he says to you, he's like, hey, can I talk to you for a second? And like he like gestures like away from the camp.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so you go like a little ways away, and he says like quietly, right, so he doesn't wake anybody else. He's like, so I heard you were shouting at Dragonbait during the fight. When he was trying to keep me from. Listen, you got to understand. Sometimes the best thing the Dragonbait can do for me is protect me. And I don't just mean from monsters and their claws.
I see. Is it right with the...
We've had some close calls. So sometimes when things get a little heated, if you'll pardon the pun, he just makes sure things don't get out of hand. Most of the time I can handle it myself, but he's a little overprotective, and he didn't mean anything by it, and he would never have let anything happen to your friend. Just...
No, that's... Would he prefer if I apologize to him? Or...
He shakes his head, and he says, he doesn't look it, but he's a little proud. Just, we'll let it go.
All right, of course.
And before you go, he says, he's like, honestly, if we could just avoid it ever being an issue, then things would be fine. And I promise, if it ever gets to a point where I think everybody's in real serious danger, I'll do what I gotta do. But, and he like looks down at the ring and he says, but I don't want to if I don't have to, you know?
Yeah, he nods. Malik says, I understand what it's like. Not this, not the ring.
When you say that, when you say I understand what it's like, he grins and he says, I sincerely hope not.
No, he shakes his head and he says, I was married actually once. And I didn't think my magic was something I was supposed to use. I thought there was something wrong with it. And he like fishes in a pocket, and he takes out the ring and he says, I'm not married anymore and I do use my magic. It's how we all deal with it. And I don't want to tell you whether your way is right or wrong, just that I do get it.
And
a little bit.
He grins and he says, you know, that's the thing they never tell you when you're getting married. It's all fun and games until your wife gets taken away from you by a horrible magical curse. He laughs and he says, "Hal, get some rest."
I nod and smile and then go and rest.
Okay, cool. Let me calculate some experience points.
I want them.
I know you do. I know you're thirsty for them. Yeah, adventurers. All right, so you killed a lot of these things yesterday.
Yeah, like 20 of them.
There were, let's see, 5, 10, 15, 18 adults.
Also, sorry, can I interrupt for a brief moment?
Sure.
Which is, please, Mr. Dungeon Master, can we have inspiration? We all played our characters.
Yes. For doing...
the climb up, please.
For doing the base thing that the game requires of you to qualify as a role-playing game, you may have inspiration.
That's how it works.
I know. It literally is how it works. We joke,
Don't be mad at me.
But that's how it goes. It's like getting fucking persona points for opening your goddamn mouth. I don't understand this. I don't understand this role.
Sometimes opening your mouth is your trait point, and
all right, let me calculate.
My
this
belief
shit.
is to
Divided
open.
By, there's 6 of you now. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Everybody gets 682 experience.
Okay.
682. Cool.
It's 4762 for those of us that aren't little folks.
Yeah, not everybody has the same amount of experience, though. Remember, but yeah.
Oh. Okay.
6, because little fox is ahead by like a slight amount.
Yeah, by a margin.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Let's do the climb. Let's do the climb back up. At the very least, because that could either take a second or be a tragic and horrific mess.
Oh, good.
Depending on how that goes.
Same pairs, same pair ups.
I don't see why we would.
So this time, Artis and Dragonbait are waiting at the like mouth of the cave, and it's it's misting still, not a lot of rain, and Artis, as you approach, you start getting your stuff out. Artis looks at you, Ishi, and he says, "Well, good luck with the climb. Don't fall to your death." And he puts one hand. He puts one hand on Dragonbait's shoulder. And what, you have something to say, Arcturus?
The box of treasure. Can they dimension door a box of treasure?
I don't think unless you ask them already.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm asking if that's something.
If you would have asked. Let me check.
Do you like, unless Little Foxes wants to have a literal crate box on her back?
She's not like insisting, but she would.
I'm just saying that could be simpler.
Yeah, I think they can take it if you want.
Okay. That would be lovely.
So Dragonbait has under his arm. So he puts one hand on Dragonbait's shoulder, reaches down to his hip, unsheaths just a little, like unsheaths bookmark. The blade is glowing, and he like winks at you, Ishi, and then the two of them take a step backwards and disappear. They vanish.
I really
See, if I kept all his cool stuff, I could be doing that. But no, I had to be a good person. Get them out of the jail cells. They just walked off with all their stuff and sold like 2 of the things and got all the money I ever need.
I do okay on my climbing today.
Okay, Malik climbs without any trouble.
Okay. I am gonna spend my inspiration. Yay!
I get a 13.
Little Fox does not do a good climb.
Okay, give me just 1 second. Athletics, and we're using our inspiration because that's a good idea.
Seems like a plan. Yep.
Yeah.
20.
Boom! You clamber up the wall like
I was born to clamber.
yeah,
Like a
weirdly.
staff
Like
flopping.
a starf.
God damn.
like stuck to the side, climbing your way up. All right. So, Little Fox, can you make that deck save?
Please no.
Okay, you're fine.
I get a 17.
Yeah, you're okay. So you slip a little, but your danger sense kicks in, and you're okay. So it's not so much about being good at climbing; it's just about knowing when to. You're the fucking guy from Uncharted. You know when to press the button to
the
jump for the
hand
next
slips.
thing.
You just
And she
freaking
just,
Nathan
like,
Drake quick
exactly.
timing a ball. Yeah.
Yep, Nathan Drake effect. So you climb up, and when you pull yourselves up over the top of the cliff, Artis is standing there with one foot on the chest, and he's having a conversation with Dragonbait, and he sees the group of you, and he waves. He's like, "Hello." I think it was faster going up than it was coming down. And I think he walks over, and like whoever's the one in the front, maybe like Malik, he like grabs your wrist and like helps yank you up.
Yeah.
Practice makes perfect.
Cool. All right.
Yeah, Little Fox like had like her blanket over all of our bags, and they were all like leaned against each other. So it was like a little pile of equipment, and she like starts getting her stuff together and
Grab my stuff.
strapping the chest onto the top of the backpack. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and you can feel that the chest, it's fairly small but very heavy, and you can feel that it has the shifting weight. It's either full of like very heavy sand or coins. It moves like unstably. So when you put it on, you kind of like lean one way, and you have to like counter lean the other way to get it like flattened out. And and then you start heading back towards Nanny's hut.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great place to stop. It's morning. There's a fine mist coming down on the surface of Mbala Plateau, and off in the distance we can see smoke rising from the hut of Nanny Poopu, who you've just done a solid for. So we'll see how she repays you next time.
Badly.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Yeah, with some kind of death curse.
We'll see about all that.
People call the
Like
death-
she's
call
a
the
hag,
death
and there are 17 other invisible hags, and they all come out of stealth at the same time.
I
And
explicitly told you
fucking-
not to read the adventure before we started playing. How did you know that this was the layer of 17 hags? They're a super coven, okay? They merged together into one
Look,
mega hag.
look. Sometimes I just can't avoid the spoilers, Adam, okay?
This is the part where you get back and her hag coven have all merged together, and she's 18 feet tall and she kicks you off the cliff. Come on. That was going to be such a good surprise. Damn it.
It's Grave Lord Nito, except with like
Granny Lord Nito. So next time on Roll20 Presents Tomb of Annihilation, it's going to be Blue Jay, Dave, Andrew, and we're going to find a new cast member who doesn't cheat. So if you like Hagazords, Hag Voltron, come on back next week. All right, you little cheater. Why don't you go first? Tell everybody where they can find you.
My dear friends, you can find me, the amazing and fantastic Ishi Snaggletooth, over on twitch.tv/DistractedElf or at DistractedElf on Twitter. tomorrow I'm gonna teach some of these nerds how to play space games, and maybe I'll play my space kobolds because that would be thematic. So
The mighty Snaggletooth Empire. I can't wait. I'm excited.
Snaggletooth, Empress of the Universe.
Hell yes. That's epic tier. That's once you get to level 20, you become Empress of Chult. I like it. Excellent. Let's go around this way. Andrew, where can people find you on the internet? What is your deal?
People can find me on twitch.tv/actualfactual or on Twitter @CommutingCrow. And unfortunately, I cannot co-instruct all of these,
the only other
larval state empire leaders and teach them how to be proper, beautiful, empirical butterflies. Because I will be on twitch.tv/Acegiac, ACEGIAK, playing the beta version of Girl by Moonlight, which is the tragic magical girl role-playing game that I'm designing. So you can watch that tomorrow afternoon.
Excellent. Thank you. Dave?
Hello. I am Dave the Human. Dave_the_human on Twitter and Dave_human on Twitch. This was fun again today. Thank you everybody for coming and watching as always. It was a lot of fun. Do I have anything interesting to say? Not really this week. I'm looking forward to playing stuff again next week.
Excellent. Thank you, Dave. And last but not least, repping the bottom of the sea, the primordial plane of water, it's Blue Jay.
Yep, it's me. My Twitch is now Empirical Butterfly. I just changed my name. Thanks, Andrew. No, I'm kidding. It's twitch.tv/BlueJay. You can find me on Twitter at BlueJay_712, where yesterday I was just fangirling a little bit about a new episode of Critical Role, but I promise that I have other things to fangirl about too. And yeah, I will be playing with these folks tomorrow, making space empires. I'm very excited to take over all of the known cosmos. So
I'm excited too. It's gonna be sweet.
Hey,
you don't want to take over the unknown cosmos.
Hey, Blue Jay, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Is it better down where it's wetter?
If you ever get a familiar, he's gonna be a Jamaican crab man. I hope you know that. Oh my God!
He's a lobster. Thank you.
Anyone who's read or knows about this adventure, I just had the best idea. Oh my God! Get at me on Twitter. So I'm gonna use my entire outro time to read you from Faiths and Avatars from 1996, an exciting Ishtishian ritual you might not know about.
Oh, tell me.
Wave riding is the ritual that Ishtishian specialty priests celebrate upon reaching a level of skills great enough to summon a water elemental from the elemental plane of water. The ceremony is preceded by an hour-long responsive reading and chant, after which an elemental is summoned. The elemental then carries the celebrant on a long ride on the waves of a large body of water. When it returns with the priest celebrating the ritual, the elemental is tossed garlands of flowers, gifted with draughts of fine wine, and given beautifully crafted pieces of jewelry, pottery, or sculpture to carry back to Istishia's realm as it leaves. So if you're looking for a god that will give you the ability to go surfing, Istishia's your fish.
Okay, humans are weird. Why would you worship Istishia like that?
I have no idea. Mysteries of religion. All this and more we will explore next time on Roll20 Presents Tomb of Annihilation. If you're watching this live, don't go anywhere. Dragon friends are up next, and they're either friends with dragons or they're dragons who are your friends. I've never been entirely clear on that. Thanks for coming, everybody. We'll see you next time.